Hi there, it's Sewa, and welcome to another conversation with a female founder who has created their own unique blueprint for business success. For today's conversation, we meet Dayna Bolden, who went from working a 9 to 5, where she felt like her career was not advancing as fast as it could, to now working on paid brand partnerships with household names like Arm& Hammer, Crate & Barrel, and then you've probably also seen her on the Nike website and their emails. So if you are interested in becoming a full-time influencer and want to know how Dayna did it, keep on listening. But if you're someone who also wants to monetize your personal brand, Dayna not only works as an influencer, but has now also monetized her personal brand further by co-authoring a children's book with her daughter. She has a skincare line coming out, and she has a new fitness platform called Define Bold Fitness. So if you're interested in this conversation, keep on listening. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next conversation. Okay, let's jump into it. Dayna Bolden, welcome to She's Off Script. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So for any of our listeners who haven't heard of you or come across you on their Nike emails or in Essence, could you share who you are and what you do?
Yes, I am a digital lifestyle content creator, entrepreneur, children's book author, but most importantly, I am a mom. I have two little kids that I love so dearly. Aria, she is 7, my daughter, and then Bryce, my son, he is a year and a half. I am also a wife to my amazing husband of, I think we're going on 9 years. I'll be forgetting times, but 9 years of marriage. So I'm a wife, mom, business owner, superwoman is what I like to call myself because I like to do it all.
And you do, and that's what I think a lot of people love about you and following your journey online. But before we get to where you are today, I know as a Division I athlete, you were playing basketball in college. Is this the career you envisioned for yourself?
Girl, absolutely not. Like I sometimes I still have to pinch myself to say I am actually here because entrepreneurship was definitely not something I thought I would be doing. And obviously, I'm gonna tell my age here, but I think I graduated in 2010 from college. So over 10 years ago, social media, this wasn't like a career or
Yeah.
a world I thought I would be in at all. So for me, when I graduated college, my goal was just to get a good job that's going to pay these bills, that I could eventually just work my way up the corporate ladder. And that would be that. I would just be this career corporate queen working in corporate America, making money to support my family. So I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur and specifically in the digital social media world. So it's just a blessing to see how my career has been able to just evolve over the last 11 years. And I'm just super blessed and grateful to be doing something that I love every day.
But didn't you have a blog in college when you started to go natural?
Yeah, so girl, but I think everybody at one point had here and there. I wish I could find that blog that I had like back in the day. Just like me kind of sharing things online. And then I dropped that for a while. And then I came back and revisited after I graduated college. And myself and a friend, we just wanted to like start a blog together. And we did that and that grew. And then we eventually dissolved that blog because we weren't interested anymore. And then I just kept up sharing my passions online, and that's how my personal brand grew. So again, it was never really something that I thought I could make a career out of, but it's also something that I really just enjoy doing. And I think that's why one of the reasons I've been successful with it is because it's just been a natural passion of mine. I didn't join social media to make money or to think, oh, I'm going to be popular one day. It was just I wanted to inspire and to create a community and help other women along the way.
And that's key. This isn't your first time trying this. You had a few false starts, you experimented, you figured out what you liked, what was working for you to express yourself before you got to the platform that got you to where you are now. But you did mention that initially you thought you were just going to climb the corporate ladder. And after 8 years at Under Armour, you started to feel like you weren't getting where you wanted to be in your career as fast as you wanted to be there. Could you talk to us about what that time in your life was like?
Yeah, I just felt like I just remember really trying to move up and change positions and to get a role that I really thought I was gonna like really stay in and grow from. And I just couldn't get into that role. And just I just overall felt like, okay, what is happening with my career? Like what's going on? I've been here 8 years, I've been kind of
Mm.
stagnant. But also around that time, or 6 years into working in corporate, that's when I had my daughter. And this kind of led me to start the blog because I really didn't have a creative outlet. And
Mm.
I felt like at the time I was stressed with work, not enjoying work. And then I would come home and then I would, obviously, we all know as new moms how challenging it is. And I just was not being fulfilled at all aspects of my life because I just felt like work was stagnant. And then I'm coming home and I'm, tired from work. Obviously, I love my family and everything, but it's a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I had nothing fun or creative to look forward to every day. And I just remember my husband like, you got to find a hobby because his hobby was basketball or video games, and he would be playing that, and I'm just sitting there looking at him like, hello, entertain me, like, do, like, and he was just like, you need to find you something to do because I can't be your end all to be all, which is true. I feel like everybody needs something that is going to make them happy outside
Mm.
of their careers, outside of their family. You can't put that stress and pressure on one person. You have to be able to fulfill yourself and make yourself happy outside of all of the roles that you have within your home. So I'm like, okay, I do need to find something to do because this ain't it. So I'm like, okay, well, I am going natural. I'm going to start this blog and we'll see how it goes. So it literally just kind of started from just me needing something fun and creative to do. And it just blossomed from there.
So you've also talked about reaching a crossroads where your blog started to take off. You were getting booked for modeling gigs, they were flying you left and right, and then Monday morning you would come back to work. So what was that inner dialogue like, especially when that person at work gets on your nerves and you're like, do you realize that I'm making more money on my side hustle? Like, what was that time period like for you?
Yeah, it was so crazy because as I was building my brand and things were growing, and literally I was growing my brand on top of my 9 to 5. Like I was on my lunch breaks. I'm like, okay, it's lunchtime. I need to create some content. Instead of going to the cafeteria to eat, I would get a friend and say, hey, let's go take some pictures outside. Like I would have full on photo shoots. And it just like, it warms my heart, but it also like brings a tear to my eyes to think about like where I've come, because I'm like, I was grinding and I remember like getting to a point where, okay, the money was coming in. Like I got to a point where brands were paying me, I'm making money, I'm able to supplement income, brands were flying me to photo shoots. And one particular campaign, I was flew out to Atlanta, which happens to be my place of residence now. But I flew out to Atlanta for this huge national brand campaign. I had to fly back into work the next day on Monday morning, and I'm like back into my 9 to 5, and I'm just like, girl, why are you doing this? You just got paid what you would make in like a month. Like, why are you stressing yourself out? Like you really have to make a decision, because again, it came to that point where I was trying to do it all. I was calling out of work, like, oh, I got to put in PTO so I can shoot photo shoots for brand campaigns. It was just like I was trying to juggle it, and it was just becoming too stressful. And I told myself, like, you could do this. Like, you could
Mm-hmm.
really do this. Like, even though this wasn't in the cards, like, you didn't think that this could be a career, you could absolutely do this. So I remember calling my husband, I got up from my desk. I called my husband, like, I think I want to quit my job. And he was just like, go for it. And, I made that plan to quit my job. And then I think within a few weeks or a month, I can't remember the exact time frame, but I was out of that job. And I remember like once I quit, how things just elevated for me. It was just like God said, girl, finally you
Mm.
decided to bet on yourself and listen to me. And now look at all the opportunities coming your way. It's just like sometimes you got to close one door so that multiple doors will open for you, and stop holding on, because that holding on to this one piece is blocking all the blessings. So I
Mm.
feel like just the stars were aligning and people were like, oh, you got time today. You got time. You don't got to work this 9 to 5. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this. So I just started getting all these opportunities and the money was flowing. And now it's just like, it's just crazy how much I make now compared to what I was making then. And I would never, ever be able to make the money in my corporate job. I was just talking to my husband last week about it. He was just like, wow, I would have probably still been under six figures had I stayed in that job because just of the trajectory of my career and where I was. I think I was making around the time like 50 something. And it just like over the last 4
And this
years.
is after 8 years in the role with a college degree.
Mhm.
Looking at your competency right now, someone was playing with you.
Yeah, it was just like I couldn't progress there. And now I can make that I make that in a month. So it's just
Woo!
like, yeah. And I just never ever would have been at that level. And I'm just so grateful that I decided to bet on myself and to take the risk and to take that chance. And now it's just up from here.
And one thing that you highlighted was when you left, when you closed the door, things just erupted for you. And I think it's also because you move differently. You put yourself out there a little bit more boldly because you were already, hey,
Yeah.
Bolden, right? The brand is on brand. But also, I'm sure while you were doing national campaigns, people at work knew who you were and what you were doing, right? They probably came across billboards with your face on them. But
Right.
at the same time, you kind of move probably not in your full self when you're also working for somebody. So probably once you left, you were like, I'm going to give you all of it, all of it. And that's what people were drawn to.
Absolutely. And it's also like, for me, it's like you have no choice now.
Mm.
Like when you start to work for yourself, it's like you have to hunt. You have to go out there. You can't just sit back and like, expect for someone to bring food to your table because you have this job. It's like, no, girl, you got to go out there and hunt and find this work, find
Mm-hmm.
this food so that you and your family can eat. So it brings out another level of work ethic in you. And I already had an amazing work ethic, but I feel like I was now like in my stride, like, girl, let's get this money, let's get this career on and popping because this is all you got now.
So talk to us about the evolution of that hunt for money. What was your first kind of pitch like for brands? And what is your process now as you're approaching brands? Because I'm sure people are reaching out to you now as well.
Yeah, so honestly, I was in a really good position to where a lot of opportunities were coming my way. Especially, I mean, even now, I mean, throughout my whole career, I've been very blessed to get a lot of opportunities to where it kept me busy.
Mm.
So I didn't necessarily have, if I didn't want to go out and like pitch it, because I've built a brand that was so strong that brands wanted to work with me. So I think that was a great thing. But
Even in the beginning?
well, when I quit my job. So like after I quit my job, I was getting the opportunities coming my way. But in the very beginning, when I obviously started blogging, no brand knew me. No one was checking for me. And I think that's also a testament of my growth and hard work is because you work so hard to where you get to a point you don't have to introduce yourself. Not to say I'm not there. I'm definitely not there yet because I ain't Beyonce. But I'm saying like when I first started, no one knew who I was. No household brand. I was just sitting there like, man, I wonder what it would be like for X, Y, and Z brand to know me, the Nikes of the world. Again, I'm working for Under Armour. And, the biggest competitor is obviously Nike. And now, fast forward, Nike's calling me saying, hey, we want to work with you. Hey, we want to put you on our website. Hey, we go send you this free product. So it's just like a evolution and it's just like such a blessing. But, even now, I have a management team that pitches me and go out and get opportunities for me as well, in addition to the brands who come my way. And I turn down so much. Like people don't understand how much good influencers turn down because again, you can't work with everybody. Everybody doesn't align. So I turned down 6 figures worth of work last year. And I'm okay with that because I've made multiple 6 figures. So it's like I can turn down this and also make sure my brand is strong because at the end of the day, it's all about my community. I'm not just taking on anything. I don't care if a brand is offering me X, Y, and Z. If it doesn't align, if it doesn't make sense, it is not worth it for me because my brand is more important than this check.
So you mentioned community, and your community loves you. You have built such a tribe that just is really loyal to you and they trust everything that you say. How did you go about building such a loyal tribe?
I think it just goes back to what I just said. Like, it's not about the check for me. It's about really being very specific and being honest, being authentic. I feel like with every single thing that I do, my authenticity and my realness, my personality shines through. And I feel like my tribe connects with that. They feel like, oh my God, I know her. That's me. That's my sister. That's my best friend. Like, that's my cousin. Whatever you feel like I am to you, I am, because I feel like I've built that loyalty and trust, not only with my personality, but what I give and what I recommend and what I say. And I think that's how I've been able to build that loyalty. And also by engaging back and, just being present. I think that's something that's super important to me, is to be present, whether it's in my consistency or just showing up for my community with value. I think all of that has been able to help me along the way.
Yeah. And I would say one thing I would say for you, and a lot of people comment about you, is that you are who you are online in person. Because I think we met in Dallas for an event here, and that's who you are. Who you see in the stories is who you are in the person or in person. I think that's very important. You hear the horror stories or the mean girl stories of people who have an online persona, but you meet them and you're just like, ooh, I guess I'm not really following this person because you are not who you say you are. And
Yeah,
that is your currency online, your personal brand, and the integrity of the brand is part of your currency.
absolutely.
And I would say one of the things that having such a great personal brand has enabled you to do is to create all these streams of income within your business. And I guess there are four that I know of. So could you walk us through how you were able to build on top of starting as an influencer and then adding these other streams on?
Yeah. And it's so funny when you say all these streams. I'm like, what streams you know of? But I'm like, okay, it really is. And it's like, it's not like it was well, it is intentional, but it's authentic for me. Like, it was things that I really wanted to create and share, and now they're happening or they're in the works of happening. So it's just been really, really good. So I have my children's book that launched in November with my daughter. So we co-authored a children's book, and that was something that I saw that she was interested in and that she was really passionate about. And I'm like, okay, let's go and do this. Like, you love to read, you love to write. You're sitting around the house writing all of these little paper books. Like, let's go ahead and make this a thing, because like I am all about, now that I'm an entrepreneur, now that I'm an entrepreneur, I am like, I'm seeing all the opportunities. And if my daughter enjoys something, I'm like, why not create it? It's nothing for me. Like, that's just how my mind works now. I'm all about creating things that you're passionate about and seeing it through. So she was passionate about writing books. So I'm like, girl, we're gonna write this book.
Ooh.
And we did it. It took almost a year to, just put out into the world. We launched it on Amazon. It became an Amazon bestseller within hours. And now we have that. So now we sell the book on Amazon, and we recently, and I haven't shared this yet, but we have hardcover books, because at first it was just the paperback books on Amazon, but now we have hardcover books, and we're selling that on our website as well. So we have the book, and then obviously my personal brand with brand collaborations, events, speaking engagements, and stuff like that is a stream. And then I recently launched Define Bold, which is my fitness community and platform. And I have that I'm growing and that I'm just really excited about, because that wasn't in the cards either. Even a year ago, I sat down with my financial planner yesterday or a few days ago, and she was like, where did this come from? Because it wasn't in the cards. That wasn't like a plan for me, but I saw that as something that I became passionate about within the last like 7 to 8 months to a year because of my fitness journey.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, okay, I want to launch this fitness brand. So now I
And
have.
I have to pause you there because when you did the 75 hard challenge, whether or not people were doing it with you, your tribe was just there cheering you on. They wanted to see the behind the scenes. And once you posted this video that just cracks me up of this woman who was just eating chips while watching Dayna work out, I died. And I loved your response to that was, okay, let me enable you to also get on a fitness journey. And then here comes another way to the platform to enable them to do that. But it comes out authentically, it comes out naturally, as you said.
Yeah, I think everything that I do, it's authentic and it's natural. So like all the things that you see that I'm going to launch over the next year, because there'll be a few things, it'll be because it was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It will never be like, why did she do that?
Mm.
I don't think anything that I'm doing, whether it's a brand collaboration, whether it's new products that I'm launching or things ventures, it's because it makes sense for me. And for my birthday, I had a fitness event, and that was just so awesome because it was like literally on my birthday, I decided to host a boot camp event where I invited, or not invited, but people purchased tickets, and it was, it was small. It was probably about 25 people or 25 to 30 social distance event, and it was amazing. And it was just the perfect birthday celebration for me because it was on a Saturday. It was my birthday. I had women in my tribe come out and celebrate and support, but it also like really ignited and launched the Define Bold Fitness brand because this is something that I want to continue to do for the rest of the year. So.
Mm. And then don't forget, I think when we first connected, you were looking at launching a skincare line, which hopefully is still going to be coming out.
Yes, I'm like that too. I'm like that, but it takes so much time. Lord, it's been literally over 2 years that I've been in the process with that. So that's still in the works as well. So, all of the things I just want to always say that I've tried to do it. I don't ever
Mhm.
want to die having dreams. Like I want to be able to put it out in the world, whatever it is that I'm dreaming about. I don't ever want it to
Mhm.
be just sitting on me and like, oh, I wish I would have did that, or oh, you should have tried it. Especially now with me quitting my job 4 years ago and doing this, it's like, girl, why not? Imagine if I would have sat on quitting my job and not doing this full time if I was scared. It's like now I'm not scared to make any moves anymore. If I have the vision, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen? You could fail. Okay, you fail, you start over, you drop it and do something else. So I feel like I would rather know that I tried and failed than not try and then possibly could have succeeded. So
Mm. And I think one of the other things that I love about you is that you're openly sharing your family. And I think people have just different perspectives on sharing kids online. But I know you also have a collaboration with your husband coming out soon. So what is kind of, what was there a big discussion with your husband, maybe wanting to stay out of the limelight, or how are you navigating that side of things?
yeah, so I mean, he's all on board with the family sharing because at the end of the day, for me, as authentic and open as I am, and again, everybody has their own reasons for not sharing their family or sharing their family. I think that's a personal decision.
Mm-hmm.
I will never shame a mom if she says, I don't want to share my kids online. Girl, I completely get it. But I feel like for me, as open, as inauthentic as I am, like it would be a struggle. It would literally be impossible for me to not share my family and my kids because like they're such a big part of me. And I feel like I would be closing off like 70% of who I am because I'm more than just this business owner and digital content creator. Like, I am a mom. I'm a boss mom. I am a boss ass wife. Like, sorry. But like, I just can't hold that part of me away. And I feel like that's a way for me to connect even further with my audience is because they see who I am. Now, it's not like I'm sharing every ounce of like my relationship and my marriage problems or, anything like that. I'm not saying like, oh, it's an open invitation to everything in my world, in my life right now. But I think I share enough for people to know who I am, know my family dynamic, know the relationship, the amazing relationship that I have with my husband, and to see like the Black love and the Black family. And that's something that's so big and so much a part of me that I can't not share it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me happy. It truly brings me joy. And I know that it brings a lot of my community joy. Just seeing my kids, seeing the simple things that I share. I could share my son picking out his socks and people love it. It's just different things that I'm able to create, that I'm able to share with my audience, that they connect with and love.
Mm. So hearing everything you have your hands in, it is a lot. So how do you allocate your time between taking care of the kids, between this is such one of those cliche questions that people always ask women, but this isn't about you being a woman, but it's also about the fact that you are doing a lot. So what is the time management like?
Yeah, I am super big on like time and like being efficient with things. And I also have a team. Like, I'm not operating out here saying that I'm doing this completely alone. Um, so one, my son, he recently started daycare, which was been ooh, child, the biggest blessing because, obviously it was a tough decision, but I ultimately made, or my husband and I, we ultimately made the decision because we wanted him to be able to not be stuck in the house. Obviously, he's a quarantine baby. He's been in the house for the last year and a half, like literally
Whew.
in the house.
Get ready, because daycare every week, coming home with the sniffles, just even in normal times.
And we've already experienced that.
Oh
So I'm
gosh.
like, it's definitely a give and a take. It's like, okay, I want him to have the personal development and the people skills to be around people and, obviously get that education because he's in a private daycare. So, that was important to me too, is like, I really want him to, because that's what I did for my daughter. And she's super smart and she's just, her personality is great. So, I don't know. It was just a decision I made or we made to get him in daycare. Obviously, it freed me up some time because again, I work from home. I could keep my son, but at the end of the day, it's like I also know all of the things that I'm trying to do, and it would be impossible for me to get those things done. And as moms, we have to make the tough decisions, and you can't be shamed for it because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's your decision, it's your child. But so he's in daycare, and that's been a blessing because I've been able to have some more time to do more things. And then I have an assistant who's amazing who helps me with scheduling and getting things together. And then, a management team. So there's no way I'm doing it all alone, but I feel that having people and systems in place allows me to be as efficient and productive as possible.
So, from a tactical level, what tools are you using to organize your day and what systems do you have in place? Do you have like a day where you shoot? Do you have a day where this is the only day you're taking meetings, like mornings for this? How are you structuring your time?
Yeah, so I do have a day, like every Tuesday is my shoot day, content creation day. So I meet with my photographer, we shoot content. And then, I do structure out my weeks to say, like, okay, these are the days I'll take meetings or interviews or things like that. And I think that just keeps the week progressing well when I know what's going on each day. And then on top of that, I have tons of scheduling systems. So my Google Calendar is obviously my best friend because it has every single thing that I need to do or accomplish or get done on that. I have Basecamp that I use for my management team with my assistant to stay on top of like my to-dos, my campaigns and all of that. And then every morning my assistant recaps what I need to do, emails I need to get to-do lists, everything pretty much in my Dayna daily that she sends to me every morning. So it just basically keeps me on track, keeps me streamlined with everything. And then I have a social media person who helps me with my Define Bold, which is my fitness brand with that. So she has Trello to, communicate content and, the community there. So again, I have a team that's helping me with a lot. So it's been good.
Mm. And I like that you highlighted that even with the Define Bold
Instagram page, you have help? Because a common question I hear is, for all of the offshoots of my personal brand, all the businesses I'm getting into, should I have a unique Instagram page or should I do it all on mine? So for Define Bold Fitness, you decided to, have your own Instagram page for that. So, but what's your take on how people should make that decision?
I think it definitely depends on what the brand is. If it's a personal brand, so say if it's like, oh, I like cooking, but I also like, sharing arts and crafts. So, like, if it's something that you do personally, I would say keep it all on one page because, you know, it's a personal brand. So you can share who you are. Like for me, it's like, I'm a mom. I love fitness. I love sharing, cleaning my house, but I'm not going to make separate pages for me cleaning my house, me sharing my mom's stuff, me, slaying my face. Like it's just too much
Mm.
because at the end of the day, it's me. Like if you like me, you're going to like whatever I create. And if you don't like me cleaning my house, then skip past that content for the day. But I think once you start to go onto different businesses, so for me, Define Bold is a different like avenue. Of course, I'm gonna still show like I do fitness on Dayna Bolden, but in terms of what I'm trying to build for Define Bold as it being a fitness community and fitness brand, then I thought it was smart to create its own lane because obviously in 5, 10 plus years, I want it to live without me per se. So if you're
Mhm.
trying to grow a business that's bigger than just you and your personal brand, then absolutely I would say create that second page or third page if it's really something that you're trying to make that's bigger than you and that can live without you in the next 5 plus years.
Mm. But the key is to factor in the support that you're going to need to run
Oh, yeah.
all of those.
Because
Yeah.
to be honest, even when I started Define Bold, I didn't have help in it. The page was stagnant because I just couldn't do both because my page is enough. Like I'm literally trying to keep up daily with content every day, with responding to people. I just got burnt out in terms of like, oh girl, you got your super cool aria for your daughter's book, then you got this, you got that, you got girl, oh Lord, it's too much. So I knew for me, if I wanted to grow Define Bold, which I do, it is something that's going to be super, super important to me this year. I needed to hire help, and I got that. And now she's managing the page, the comments, the questions, and the content. And obviously, I'm hopping in there because I want to still be in tune. But having that help definitely is going to help me grow the page.
Mm. And for the Super Cool Aria page, is someone managing that and managing your marketing strategy for promoting the book?
No, but girl, I'm about to get on it because the same person that's helping me with Define Bold, I'm about to get her for that too because I need more. I need the help. So, and I know that's something that's important for me too, especially going into the year and the things that I want to put out for Super Cool
Mhm.
Aria. I'm going to need that to continue to grow. So, yeah.
Yeah. And as they say, mind the business that pays you. You already know what the cash cow part of your business is. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on that and getting other people to help as you're building the other parts of your business. So, for anyone who is thinking, I have a personal brand that I'm growing and I do want to build businesses that are based on my personal brand, what advice would you give them as they're starting on their journey?
I would definitely say to, because everything is starting with the personal brand, everybody like I'm able to have successful and hopefully knock on wood very successful brands as they launch and develop because I've built a strong personal brand and I feel like people really connect with other people.
Mm.
So if that's something that you're looking to eventually venture off and have your own products or whatever outside of your personal brand, I would first say build that community first. It's so important to have community before launching a product, in my opinion, because it allows you to really show who you are, share the brand story, share the why, instead of just popping up with a product that no one knows who you are, no one knows anything about this product. It's just another product in the market that they can get anywhere. It's like, girl, okay, I can go to Amazon and get that. But why am I going to buy from you? I'm going to buy from you because I love who you are. I love what you stand for. I love what your brand stand for. I love what you've been doing. Just having some kind of brand story behind that will help when launching other products. So I would say the first thing for anybody to do is work on building community first.
Mm. And so you've spent so many years building a great foundation for your business to the point where whatever offshoots you've created, you're seeing success in those. When will you know that you have succeeded as the Dayna Bolden brand?
Mm. When I don't know, I think for me, success has always meant happiness for me. And I'm very successful right now because I'm happy with what I'm doing and what I'm putting out. But financially, I've been successful. But I think once I launch or continue to launch the brands that I have in place, is really seeing those become $1 million brands. I think that is going to be like, oh my God, girl, you did it. You did it. So I think that's like my goal, especially for Define Bold. Super cool Aria, that would be amazing. Like, especially with the things that I want to continue to do and grow with that brand, and also the other brands that I'm working on, from the skincare and the things that I'm doing with my husband. I think, you know, seeing that dollar amount is always a good thing.
Ooh, and I'm looking forward to it. I think especially with Aria and building a brand for her, there's so many other moms who are going to be inspired to kind of enable their kids because they see what you've been able to do with her brand as well. But I really appreciate you opening the doors and sharing with us how your business has grown so far. For anyone who wants to follow your journey as you're building your personal brand and your businesses, where can they find you?
Definitely check me out on my Instagram at Dayna Bolden, my website, daynabolden.com, and then follow if you're into fitness, and not just fitness of working out, but just total wellness, because that page, I really want to create a community to help inspire, but also educate Black women in their whole wellness journey. So follow Define Bold Fitness. We have some amazing things that will be in store over the next few months. So you do not want to miss that. And then my children's book, Super Cool Aria, that's on Instagram, or you can visit supercoolaria.com to purchase and support the book.
If this conversation with Dayna has inspired you to launch your own business, I want to invite you to join Boss Off Script, which is our membership community where you get coaching and resources as you launch and grow your own business. If you're interested in more information or you want to join, go to sewa@jpele.com/community. If you're interested in listening to the audio version of this podcast, it's available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are available. If you find us on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a review. All right, with that, we'll see you back here for our next conversation. Bye.